Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Recap of week number 7 in the National Football League. Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in a little bit of NFC East family business. This one is for the division lead. Both teams come in the game at 3-3 on the season. This one is simple. I don't need the big board behind me. I don't need my handy dandy pointer for this one. This one is cut and dry. Eagles flat out didn't get it done at home. Simply could not sustain offense. Nicholas Foles was terrible in this game. I'll get to him more in a second. Cowboys came into this game playing solid defense. They were exploited. This isn't a great Cowboys defense. The Broncos had their way with them defensively. The Redskins even had their way with them defensively. The only difference in those two games, Denver Broncos able to get in the end zone, scored 51 points. Redskins were not. They scored 16. Cowboys were able to win, and their special teams showed up. But make no mistake about it, this Cowboys team is depleted defensively. No DeMarcus Ware in this game. No DeMarco Murray at the running back position. And so Eagles had a golden opportunity at home to get a win in the division, jump and leapfrog this Cowboys team in this division, and really do some damage in the NFC East. They simply missed an opportunity to do something big, did the Philadelphia Eagles. And I keep talking about this Eagles team not being a team that is going to contend for this NFC East title this season. But if they're healthy, if Vic is in this game, or because my whole thing on Nicholas Foles, we needed to keep this in perspective. And I lost sight of that myself because I thought the Eagles could win this game. Forget about 8 straight losses at the Link. Forget about the Cowboys being banged up. Just play your game, and I thought they would be able to do that. But what I forgot to take into consideration was that Nicholas Foles looked good this year against 2 winless teams. The 2 teams that he beat this year were a combined 0-11 on the season. He dominated the Giants in the second half of that game in New York. They're 0-6. And they dominated Tampa Bay last week in Tampa Bay. They're 0-5. So Nicholas Foles didn't go and light up a good football team. He didn't light up the Kansas City Chiefs. He didn't light up the Denver Broncos. He didn't light up a good football team. He lit up teams that are already decimated and depleted and mentally unstable as a football team. He beat teams that were there to be beaten. I don't have a problem with that. But what I needed to remind myself, and the Cowboys did a great job of reminding me of that on Sunday, is that this guy is an average NFL quarterback and that he hasn't done anything to warrant my respect, so why are you giving it to him without him earning it? Fair enough. Fair enough. Cowboys went into this game and dominated the Eagles at the line of scrimmage. And they made Nicholas Foles uncomfortable. He was erratic in this game. Even when he had time, he was not on point, missing open receivers. They couldn't run the football. I think that's what hurt them the most in this game. The fact that they couldn't get the NFL's leading rusher, Shady McCoy, off the ground. They couldn't get him in space and allow him to do what he does best. And that's electrify us, in space. They didn't get him enough space to operate. And so the onus was put on Nicholas Foles to get it done, and he simply could not get it done in this football game. You look at the Cowboys, they weren't that much better in this game. Tony Romo and this Cowboys offense struggled for about a half of football. They went into the halftime locker room with a 3-0 lead, came out in the second half, put up a touchdown, which was all they really needed to do because the Eagles were struggling so bad offensively. They put another touchdown on the board, and Romo made one mistake in this game. He threw a pick, and this had an opportunity to really jumpstart the Eagles. Right before the end of the third quarter, he's picked off, and the Eagles are set up in prime field position. And D'Amico Ryans gets the pick. You're thinking to yourself, okay, this is just what the doctor ordered for the Philadelphia Eagles. They need to get in the end zone. And Nicholas Foles had struggled all day. He's got an open Jason Avant. He misses him. Almost picked off. They reviewed it, declared it an incomplete pass. And so they end up having to settle for a field goal. On third down, Nicholas Foles scrambles out. There's nothing there. Hey, the guy in the booth, have we not learned anything from Troy Aikman? Have we not learned anything from Robert Griffin III? Have we not learned that if you're not going to use the sideline, then it's not your friend? If you're a quarterback and you don't use the sideline as your buddy, then that guy is not your friend. Don't go hanging out by the sidelines and chilling and thinking that everything is okay. If you're not going to step out of bounds, if you're not going to use that white strip of turf, if you're not going to run out of bounds, then don't hang around out of bounds. He's not your friend, okay? Either you use him as an ally or he's going to be your worst enemy. Nicholas Foles found that out the hard way. Don't go hanging out by the sidelines. Get rid of the football. Either you run out of bounds or you throw the football out of bounds. Either way, use him as your friend. You don't use him as your friend, he's your worst enemy. You go hanging out around the out of bounds line, and bad things always happen. Robert Griffin III got a concussion last year because he wanted to hang around out of bounds and not get out of bounds. Troy Aikman had his career ended because he didn't want to go out of bounds. He wanted to hang around out of bounds. He's not your friend if you're not stepping out and using him. And so Nicholas Foles wanted to hang around out of bounds. He's not your friend. And he got slammed down on the turf. And we know the link is cousin. He's akin to the vet. And right under that turf is cement. And his head hit the turf. No doubt about it. Concussion. He's done for the game. Oh my gosh. What are you going to do, Philadelphia? Now you got to put in Matt Barkley. And look, I don't know about you. I like my Matt Barkley holding the clipboard. I don't know about you. I like my Matt Barkley with the baseball cap and the clipboard in the hand and the headset on listening to the plays. That's how I like my Matt Barkley. I don't know about you. But you didn't have that option. Vic was out in this game, and so you had to put Matt Barkley in. And he came into the game. He was all wide-eyed, and for a second, he thought he was back at SC. He thought this was the Pac-12, and he was going to come in and carve up Washington State. Until he realized, wow, I'm in a pit full of snakes. I'm a wide-eyed rabbit, and this isn't the Pac-12, and that's not Washington State. That's the Dallas Cowboys. This is the NFC East. And oh, by the way, this is the National Football League. And in a 10-minute span, Matt Barkley proceeded to throw 3 interceptions. If that's not welcome to the NFL, Rook, I don't know what is. Cowboys get it done 17-3, take their record to 4-3 on the season. Eagles dropped to 3-4. Very lackluster effort from the Philadelphia Eagles. No other way to put it. They came into this game with a lot of energy. They had won 2 games in a row. They were feeling good about themselves. Again, keep it in its proper perspective. When the Eagles have played good competition, they've lost in this season. When they've played bad teams, they have won. They've beat teams with a combined record on the season of 3-17. So that just gives you an indication of how good this Eagles football team is or how bad they are. 3-16 is the record of the teams they've beaten. So this isn't a good Eagles team. I continue to say that. And you want to prove me wrong? Go out and beat teams at home like the Dallas Cowboys. They couldn't do it in this game. Cowboys go into the link, get a win, and big win for the Cowboys. They go on the road to get it done. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing, but it doesn't have to be in this league. We don't gauge wins on how pretty it is. This isn't college football. They put it in the left-hand column and you just move on. Cowboys will take it. They're now in sole possession of first place in the NFC East. You look at the Eagles. If I'm Philadelphia, hey, how about I just play the rest of my games on the road and don't go home at all whatsoever for no reason? Because it seems like you can't win at home. 9 straight losses, unacceptable at home. And so if I'm the Eagles, hey, I'll just keep playing on the road every single week, and maybe I'll win some games that way. I don't know. That's just the thought. Interesting concept. I don't know. You can take it for what it's worth, but that's going to do it for me here on this program. I thank you for joining me here in the lab room. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. See you next time as I continue to break down the action from week number 7 in the National Football League.